In society, it reminds us how much time has passed and time that we no longer have. The clock controls when we get up in the morning, which mine was set pretty early that next morning to get me out of bed. It tells how fast we live our lives, how hard we push to finish a job. It even determines how fast we drive. If we're running late, we kind of step down on it, don't we? When you heard somebody ask the question, what time is it? A lot of times when they ask that question, they're anxious when they ask it, not out of curiosity. Well, what time is it? I got to go. It's a compass. Expensive, inexpensive, any way you want to look at it, that is a simple piece of equipment. It's plastic, nothing in it that runs it. It's plastic and got a metal needle. Its whole purpose is to point north. Its purpose is to provide direction. I knew where I was, or where I knew the land up there. Okay? So I knew I needed to go one way to find out where I needed to be. It's simple. Its simple purpose is to point north. By always pointing north, the compass gives us the ability to establish a sense of direction. Even if we don't know where we are, the compass is an instrument of reassurance and comfort. Okay? At this third tree with my dog, I started heading back to my four-wheeler. I knew where I was going. Just right there. I got lost. But I remembered I had my compass. When I was lost, I remembered I had my compass. I was okay. I didn't want to believe what it said because I thought I knew which way I was going. It's our Bible. Compass or clock? Compass. What's its purpose? Its basic purpose is to always point you in the direction of God. When you have no sense of direction in your life, when you're confused and disoriented, when you are not sure of where you are or where you're going, the Bible focuses us on Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ points us to God. This outer ring of this compass, north, south, east, and west, and a bunch of more numbers. Let's pretend that north is God, and that green part of that needle is Jesus Christ. Jesus is the needle of our spiritual compass because he never loses his direction. He's always following God. Nothing ever deceives Jesus. Nothing ever led Jesus off of God's course for him. When Satan tempted Jesus face to face, Jesus stayed on course. When one of Jesus' best friends betrayed him, Jesus stayed on course. When his disciples deserted him in the Garden of Gethsemane and he was arrested, he stayed on course. When he was tried, falsely condemned, ridiculed, and abused, Jesus stayed on course. When he died hanging on the cross, Jesus stayed on course. Is our personal life ruled by the clock or the compass? If you're honest with yourself and you examine your own life? Is the clock or the compass in control? Is what's happening in your family relationships controlled by the clock or the compass? Is what's happening in our personal behavior controlled by the clock or the compass? And is it what's happening in our hearts and minds right now controlled by the clock or the compass? But beware. If I leave these two sitting right there and don't do anything to them, and we come back next year, what's going to happen? That sucker right there is dead. Clocks run down and time runs out. When we meet God, there'll be no clock. Time will be no more. In a year, that sucker's still pointing north. Or should I say, is pointing towards God. As we struggle through life and need direction that will point us towards God, we'll pull out our compass and establish a sense of direction. Jesus said in John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. In Psalms 119, 105, it says, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. That night in the woods, I was looking for a path. I knew if I headed west and I followed that compass, I'd come out on that path. And I did. I knew when I found that path, I was on my way to where I needed to be. Before we can truly manage time, it is important to know where we're going, what our priorities and goals are, and in what direction we're headed. Where we are headed is more important than how fast we can get there. Rather than focusing on what's urgent, learn to focus on what's really important. Is our life on course in the direction that points towards God? Are we following our compass? Thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to speak, Mr. Ted. I didn't have a clue on what I was going to talk about. But I told you last Sunday that once it hit me, it hit me.
Good.
Thank you.